Hi, I'm Donna Obstveld from multi-award winning HR practice DOHR. We're based in Hertfordshire and we support about 350 small and medium-sized businesses with everything to do with their people issues. Today I want to talk to you specifically about mental health in the workplace. It's something which, it's World Mental Health Day today, and it's something which there is an increasing awareness of both in the workplace and in schools and in the community at whole. But it's still something which has a massive stigma attached to it, and people really don't know what to do when somebody comes to them, an employee to a line manager or friend to friend, and says, I've got a mental health issue. It's still this massive group of syndromes or symptoms or diseases or illnesses that all get clumped under one umbrella of mental health. And it's really important that line managers don't just send people away, but at the same time that they don't panic, that they don't overreact to the situation, but that they create an environment in which people can have an open and honest conversation. That's really hard to do. It's really hard for an employee to turn around to their boss and say, I'm not feeling okay today, or there's something I need to tell you and talk to you about. I need some time off, I'm on medication, I need some space, I need some quiet time, whatever it may be. Every single person who suffers with mental health and mental issues, it's different for every single one of them. There is no hard and fast rule which any employer can go, oh, quickly, I'll get out the book and the book will tell me how to deal with this situation. It doesn't work like that. So just as you're dealing with individuals on a day-to-day basis within the workplace, dealing with their mental health issues, it's no different. Mental health issues can be anxiety, stress, depression, can be an obsessive compulsive disorder, an OCD. It can be the way in which somebody interacts with somebody else. It can be because somebody's bipolar, because somebody's schizophrenic. There's a huge range of conditions. The most important thing to do as an employer is to create an environment where people feel that they can come forward and have that initial conversation. It's that initial conversation that is going to be the hardest. People need to know that they're not going to be judged, they're not going to lose their jobs over it, they're not going to be, discriminated against on the basis of their mental health status. People need to feel safe in having that conversation. Employers also need to know what their rights are. So if somebody is off sick for extended periods of time, how do they deal with that in the workplace? Do they have to keep them on full pay? Can they put them onto statutory sick pay? Actually, the contract of employment is absolutely essential in determining what, at least at the first phase, how that's dealt with. So creating the right environment where staff feel that they can come forward and have a conversation, and then understanding what your options are. One of the best ways to do that is by dialogue. But the next best thing that you can do for your staff is to actually write to their GP. Now you have to get their permission to do that, and they have to feel confident with you writing to the GP. So it's about having that dialogue. This is why I want to write to your GP. I need to understand what support we need to give you in the workplace. In some respects, it's no different to somebody who's an epileptic sufferer or who has diabetes. You need to know as an employer how to handle it, what support to give somebody, and what reasonable adjustments you as a business owner may need to make. Once you've written to the GP and got back that report, then you're in a position where you can have another conversation. And that conversation may be around, what do you need? What do you need today? What do you need in the short term? What do you need in the long term? What do you want? It's about supporting an employee, and believe me, if you support that employee in the right way, you will get the loyalty of that employee in the long term. In many cases, people are desperate for help with their mental health issues, whether it's that they need medication, whether they need counselling, whether they need to be signposted to lots of different places that can help with intervention. Today, Theresa May has actually announced a suicide SAR and suicide prevention SAR. That's something which is really important, but it's not the total picture. Help for people in schools, for young people, the increasing pressure that young people are on today. A lot of it caused by their phones, a lot of it caused by social media, a lot of it, bullying has moved online. So what used to just be somebody name calling now goes viral, everybody else gets involved. There are issues that, it's all very well for us to say, oh, it wasn't like that in our day, but actually the issues were different and the way in which they could be dealt with was very different. Nowadays, it's much more in your face, it's much more there all the time, and therefore employers can't ignore it, like school teachers, parents, they're dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't stop when somebody walks through the door of your workplace. So what you need to do is create an environment where, first of all, people say, I need help. Second of all, they know that there's an open door and they can access help. Third of all, you've spoken to the GP or you've had some kind of conversation with the GP where you find out exactly what that help needs to look like. Then you go back and have a conversation with the employee that says, right, I've got this medical report, you're sat in front of me, this is what we'd like to do for you, what do you want, how can we help you? And long term, the mental health of that employee is going to improve if you as the employer and the colleagues around them give them the support that they need. Hope that's been helpful. There is loads on the internet today about mental health in the workplace. There is mental health in general, but also mental health in the workplace. There is a report which the CIPD, the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, have put together with Mind. If you can't find it just on an internet search, then please do take a look at my blog. My blog for today has a link to that report. And it is to help managers deal with mental health in the workplace. I hope that's been useful.